you. Just be comfortable. And those of you that have blocks as well, that's what I wanted to say at the start. If you have blocks and you like to use your blocks, then keep them handy tonight. So we'll just come to lying down with the knees bent or flat, whatever. And then take a moment to wriggle around and settle and get comfortable. You might want to just adjust the back of your shoulders, maybe bring the shoulder blades a bit closer in. You might want to wriggle around the back of your pelvis. So any of those little adjustments that you need to make yourself feel a bit more comfortable. Here's Jane. Hi Jane, we're lying down on our backs to start. Okay, and you might want to just take one hand to your tummy and one to the chest. You might not. Again, that's up to you. So resting one, good evening Sheila, we're in Savasana. It's only a minute to as well, this isn't very fair of me, is it? And I know that Lydia's going to appear any second as well, probably. Okay. So we're lying down on our backs, good evening Taz, we're lying down on our backs either in Savasana or with the knees bent. So whichever works is more comfortable for you. And then maybe just resting one hand onto your tummy and one hand onto your chest. And I think we're all here now and hopefully the sound and everything is settled down. Good. Okay, so just take a moment or two to let your awareness settle to within the space on your mat. And then just bringing your awareness into your body. Start to feel your body. Hi Jane, we're lying down on our back. Start to feel your body from the inside out. And just noticing if there's any areas of tension, tightness, anywhere that you're gripping, that you can begin to relax a bit more. And then breathing in and out through the nose. Just start to breathe into your hands. So if we have one on the tummy and one on the chest, see if you can really send the breath into your hands so that you expand as much as you can with the inhales. And then with the exhales, relax and soften. With each round of breath, just see if you can find a little bit more space and a little bit more expansion. And then using the exhales to soften and relax. Make sure that your jaw is relaxed. You can soften around the base of the neck a little bit more and do that. And really just letting go of the weight of your body with each exhale. So we'll just take about another 3 or 4 rounds of breath here, like this. Just finding that space and expansion with the inhales. And then using the exhales to just let go. Tension, anywhere that you're holding, relax. Okay, So if you're lying with your knees bent, we'll just stretch the legs away for a moment. And then inhale, take the arms up above the head and come up into a full body stretch. So reaching away through the fingertips, reach away through the heels. Make yourself as long as you possibly can. Imagine that you've just woken up and you're trying to stretch everything out. Really lengthening as much as you can. Big inhale there, and then as we exhale, we'll bring the knees into the chest. Just very, very gently squeeze the knees in. And then release the feet down to the mat, and we'll set straight up for a bridge pose. So those of us that have got sensitive low back, just take the feet maybe a little bit wider than the hips. Make sure that the outside edges of your feet are parallel. And then inhale, press into the feet and lift the hips. So you have a choice. You could keep the arms down by your side here. You might want to take the hands beneath you and interlace the fingers, and then you can walk the shoulder blades in. So you're just going to make this bridge as deep a bridge as feels appropriate for you at the start of the practice. So sometimes it's nice just to sort of ease your way in, isn't it? So you find your level of bridge that works for you. Make sure that the knees don't start to drift open. If you're interlacing the fingers beneath you, maybe you could press the triceps down into the mat and lift the chest a little bit more, but just find out what feels okay for you. Notice where the weight is in your feet, and are you a little bit heavier in one foot? Can you press a little bit harder into both feet? Maybe you can start to feel the hamstrings wake up a little bit, the glutes start to wake up a bit. Maybe you come up a bit higher, but paying attention to what you're feeling in your low back. It's up to you. Make it as intense or not as it needs to be. Take a nice big inhale at the top of the bridge, and then as we exhale, we'll slowly come down one vertebra at a time. So really slowly feel the low back, the whole of the spine coming down to the mat. And then once you've come all the way down to the mat, we're just going to bring the knees in and come into your variation of a happy baby. So you might hold behind the knees and draw the knees towards the underarms that way. Or you might take the arms on the inside, take the ankles, or maybe the outer edges of the feet. But just find your version of a happy baby pose. And it's quite nice here just to gently rock a little bit from side to side. And you might start to feel that you can just bring a little bit of a massage into the mid-back, even into the upper back with the happy baby. So a little bit of gentle movement there. You might want to explore that a little bit more. It's completely up to you. So make this work for you in whatever way feels appropriate. If it's too intense, happy baby, at the beginning of a practice, then you just ease off. Maybe hands come behind the knees. I know it's quite a strong stretch. Just warming up straight away into our hips tonight. And making sure everybody's still in. Yeah. Okay, from here we'll release our hold wherever it is. We'll cross the shins and rock up to seated. And we're going to come straight into a butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together. We've got this diamond shape here with the legs. Don't have the heels too close in, so it's not a Baddha Konasana. It's a butterfly. You might take the flesh away from the sit bones. Take hold of the shins, the ankles, or the feet. And then inhale to lift the chest. And then as you exhale, any amount coming forward with the chest. And it might feel appropriate for you to take the hands out to the side. You can again explore this pose a little bit. Find out what feels nice for you in your butterfly. Trying not to use force. So we're easing our way forward here. Again, it's quite a strong hip stretch, isn't it? So just take your time, let things begin to soften. Make sure you're not gripping around the hips. The idea is that the chest is moving forward. We're not collapsing down. We're not rounding too much to come forward. Let's see if you can stay with that nice expansive breath as well. And use your exhales to soften and relax into the shape. Okay, on our next inhale, we'll press the floor away and come up. And you might want to help the knees up, and we'll just take the feet a little bit wider than the hips, maybe even as wide as the mat. Take the hands behind you and then knees from side to side. And that can feel surprisingly intense already. So just pay attention again to the sensation that you're having. Make the movement as big as feels appropriate. Okay, we'll come back to central. Take the hands around the knees, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a variation on a cat-cow type movement here. So with the hands around the knees, on the inhale, we press the chest forward, bring the upper arms back, shoulder blades towards each other, and then as we exhale, round back Chin to the chest, widen between the shoulder blades, rock it back, and then inhale, come forward. And then exhaling to come back. And you might just start this movement quite small, see how everything feels. You might begin to make the movement bigger. You might want to explore it a little bit, so you can maybe draw some circles with the torso, but just pay attention to what you're feeling, move in whatever way feels appropriate, keeping the movement small or beginning to build onto that. So it's the same as when we're doing the cat-cow on all fours. You can just sort of start to move in whatever way feels nice for you. Sometimes you can just bring the stretch a little bit more into the side body, can't you, if that feels appropriate. And just try to maintain that nice evenness with the breath as well. Okay, from here, some of you might well curse me for this, but we're going to find our way to a Malasana squat. So, adjust the feet. You might want to take them wide. You might want to turn the toes right out. And then just bring in the weight forward. And you can use a block here. So if you really dislike these, you can always sit on your block. You can use the block for your heels. You can roll up the mat as well. If you are comfortable here, and I say this all the time, but if you're really comfortable in the squats, remember just to come up a little bit so you're not just hanging into the joints. It's easy for some of us to just hang out here. Don't let that be you. Come up a little bit higher if that's the case, and just challenge yourself a little bit. We're starting to warm up the hips. Eventually here in Malasana squat, we're thinking about getting the toes to point forward, but if that's not happening at the moment, then the feet can be as turned out as they need to be. Bring the elbows on the inside of the knees, press the palms together and lift the chest, and maybe you can come up a little bit higher. Imagine that you're drawing the heels towards each other, so you start to get that little bit of buoyancy in the hips. And I know last week some of us felt the effects of our Malasana squat all week. So ease off if you need to. If you want more in Malasana squat, maybe you can reach the arms up and keep squeezing the outer hips in, so you're finding that buoyancy in the hips. Shoulder blades draw down the back. If you're reaching up through the fingertips, maybe you turn the gaze up as well. But as I said, if you struggle with this for your knees or for whatever reason, then adjust it. You could be higher, you could be sitting up on a block. Okay, taking a breath, and then we're going to release the hands down and then just come straight into Uttanasana forward bend. So adjust the feet so that the toes point forward, abdomen and ribs are resting on the thighs, and we'll take hold of the elbows and just come into a ragdoll pose, maybe swaying a little bit from side to side. You could nod the head yes, maybe shake it no, just getting rid of any tension there that you have around the base of the neck. Same here, you can make the movement quite big if you want to. You can stay static, you can keep the movement small. It depends how your body feels tonight. Okay, from there we're going to release the arms. Just turn the toes out if you need to for your Malasana squat, and then come back to it. Elbows to the inside of the knees, palms together, lift the chest. Can you imagine that you're drawing the heels together, so you're getting that little bit of buoyancy in the hips, and then any amount lift the chest more, maybe you bring the arms up. If that's up to you. Try to get that action squeezing the outer hips in your Malasana squat. So again, we're not hanging out into the joints. We're finding that engagement and that strength. Lift the chest any amount more. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands down. We'll come back into the forward bend. So turn the toes back forward and again take the elbows. You might sway a little bit. You might want to nod your head yes again, shake it no. We're going to do one more Malasana squat, don't curse me. Hands down, turn the toes out, come back to Malasana squat. Sit on your block if you need to. Elbows to the inside of the knees, press the palms together, lift the chest. Get that action, it's like you're trying to squeeze the heels towards each other, so there's that buoyancy and lift and engagement in the hips. Arms up maybe, shoulder blades down the back. Maybe you'll turn your gaze up there as well. Okay, inhale, exhale, hands down, coming back into Uttanasana. We'll take the elbows again, so we're back into our ragdoll pose. You might just move the upper body around a little bit more. You might sway, you might make that a bigger movement this time. It is completely up to you, as always. Okay, and then from here, we're going to release the hands down. We'll step back to a plank pose. So find your way back to plank. From our plank pose, just let the knees come down. So we're in a sort of supported plank position. So we're not in a tabletop, it's more like supported plank. I'm going to do just a couple of shoulder blade protraction movement, which is almost like cat-cow but isolated to the upper body, and it's just really good to help us warm up the shoulders and also work on that stability in the shoulders. So keeping the arms as straight as you can. Inhale, press into the hands, lift and spread between the shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, keeping the arms straight, the upper body dips down, shoulder blades squeeze towards each other, and then inhale, push and lift and spread. And then exhale, upper body dips down. Feel the movement of the shoulder blades across your upper back, and then inhale to push and lift and spread. And then exhale, upper body dips down. Keeping the arms straight. It's tempting to bend them, isn't it? Inhale, push and lift and spread. This time we're going to come all the way down, so keep the elbows tucked and then slowly lower. Come all the way down to your front. Elbows are glued all the way into the sides of the ribs. Once you've come all the way down and tuck the toes, we're set up for a cobra pose. So inhale, press into the palms. But as you come up, draw the right shoulder back and then gently gaze over it, twisted cobra. And then exhale to come back down. Okay, inhale, come up, draw the left shoulder back, gently gaze over it. Doesn't need to be a deep twist. Exhale to come back down. Okay, inhale, come up straight down the center, standard cobra. Keep the elbows in, roll the shoulders back. And then as we exhale, we'll find our way back into our first downward facing dog. And then just moving there in any way that you want to, bending the knees, swaying, whatever. So where do you need to move into tonight? Where are your tight areas? And it's that awareness, isn't it, that we're not just doing exactly the same thing every time we get into our downward facing dog. So moving in whatever way feels appropriate. Try and keep that softness around the base of the neck. The shoulder blades are thinking about drawing up towards your back pockets, and then the upper arms spin back. So it's that action of the tricep muscles spinning back, isn't it? Okay, maybe stepping the feet a little bit closer together, and then inhale, take the right leg up for a split dog. From here, we're going to walk the hands back and come into a supported warrior 3 or a standing split. So we're folding over the left leg and we're reaching up through the right big toe as much as we can. Doesn't matter how high that leg lifts, just do your best. Make sure that you're lifting up out of the left hip so you're not just sinking into that left hip. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward, and then as we exhale, we'll step the right foot between the hands, and then the fingertips come a little bit further forward and we raise the left leg up. So some of us are familiar with this sort of walking, standing splits move that we like to do. If you're not, then we're kind of making our way to the front of the mat. Keep lifting up out of the right hip. Reach up through the left big toe. Inhale to lift and lengthen the chest forward. As we exhale, we'll step the left foot between the hands, adjust the position of the hands, and then raise the right leg. Fold over the left. Reach up through the right big toe, lift up out of that left hip. And then inhale to lift the chest, and then exhale, step the right foot to the front of the mat. Hands come forward. Raise the left leg, lift up through the left big toe, folding over the right leg, lifting up out of the right hip. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll release the left foot down and come straight up into a chair pose, but Utkatasana, shoulder blades down the back. Make sure that you can see your toes in your chair pose. Think about that action, sit bones towards the backs of the knees, shoulder blades draw down the back. Maybe you'll turn your gaze up as well. Inhaling there, as we exhale, coming into a forward bend. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling to step back to plank. From plank pose, we'll drop the knees, we'll tuck the elbows and we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale for a twisted cobra to the right. So inhale, come up, draw the right shoulder back, gently gaze over it, and then exhale to come back down. Inhale, come up, draw the left shoulder back, gently gaze over it. Exhale to come back down. Inhale, come up straight through the center, keep the elbows glued in, roll the shoulders back, and then as we exhale, we'll find our way back to our downward facing dog. Okay, we'll take 3 breaths in downward facing dog. So you're still moving in whatever way you need to. You're making sure you're nice and soft around the base of the neck. 2 and 3. Okay, maybe adjusting the position of the feet so the feet are a little bit closer together. And then inhale, take the left leg up. And then we walk the hands back towards the right foot. So you can do your best here. I know this is easier said than done. Make it more of a supported warrior 3 if you want to. Lift up through the left big toe if you need to use blocks as well. You can use block. Lift up out of the right hip. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward. As we exhale, we'll step the left foot between the hands, adjust the position of the hands, and then raise the right leg, fold over the left leg. Reach up through the right big toe, lift up out of the left hip. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward. As you exhale, the right foot steps forward. Adjust the hands. Left leg lifts. Fold over the right leg. Keep lifting up out of the right hip. Reach up through the left big toe as much as you can. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, step the left foot to the front of the mat. And then adjust the hands again. Fold over the left leg. Lift up out of that left hip. Inhale to lift the chest, and then as you exhale, the right foot releases down. Come straight into Utkatasana chair pose. Make sure you can see the toes. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Sit bones towards the backs of the knees. Gazing up if you can. Inhale and then exhale for a forward bend. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale to find your way to plank. From plank, we'll drop the knees. We'll tuck the elbows and lower. We'll come up, twisted cobra to the left first this time. So inhale, come up, draw the left shoulder back, gently gaze over it. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come up, draw the right shoulder back, gently gaze over it. And exhale to come back down. Inhale, come up straight through the center. Keep the elbows glued in, roll the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, find your way back, downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths this time. 1, so still moving in whatever way that you want to in your downward facing dog. 2, and see if you can maintain that nice fluidity of breath in and out through the nose. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, on our next inhale, we'll take the right leg up behind us, and then as we exhale, step it forward. So remember to help it forward if you need to. Make sure that you're not on a tightrope. Adjust the feet, find a runner's lunge. Let the hips sink down, back of the left thigh lifts, chest lengthens forward. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to inhale and wobble our way up to crescent, and then sink into the front knee. Outer right hip shaves back. Remember to keep the back knee really bent if you need to stay neutral in the pelvis. So especially if your back is sensitive, try and be really neutral in your pelvis in your crescent lunge. Reach back through the left heel. Keep shaving the outer right hip back. Shoulder blades down the back. Maybe you gaze up. Just see if you can maintain that nice evenness with the breath here. Find that expansion. Imagine your hands are still on the abdomen and the chest, and you're still breathing into them, expanding into them. Maybe you can find a little bit more depth as well in your crescent lunge. Cursing me already. Okay, on the next inhale, we're going to straighten into the front leg, turn to the left and come straight into horse pose. So turn the toes out and the knees out over the toes. Bring the right elbow to the right knee, and then the left arm comes over. So it's like a side bend in your horse pose. But don't let all the weight come over to the right. Bend deeply into the left knee, keep opening the knees out. And try and be equal with the weight in your feet as well. Think about finding length from the outer left hip to the left fingertips. Maybe your gaze turns up as well. Watch how the knees want to start to collapse in, but don't let them. See if you can maintain that nice evenness with the breath here as well. Come deeper if you can. Find that engagement as well here, the outer hips squeeze in. It's the same as we want to find in Normalasana squat. Okay, from here, keeping the knees bent, we're going to release the left arm and then find a side angle pose at the back of the mat. So left elbow comes to left knee, right arm up and over. Just check that you're lining up heel to arch, make any adjustments that you need to. Maybe you can open the front knee out a little bit more, think about lifting the inner right thigh up and turn your chest as well up towards the ceiling. Well done. Okay, we're going to come straight to a reverse warrior from here. So if you release the right hand behind your back and then inhale the left arm up and over to reverse your warrior. So with a wrap, maybe if you don't like the wrap, then you can just let the right hand come down the right thigh. Keep opening the front knee out though. Maybe you turn your gaze up to the ceiling. Okay, inhaling to come to a warrior 2. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down and frame the foot. You can step back and go straight to downward facing dog. You can add in a vinyasa here if you want to. Up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog will take 3 breaths. 1, so straight away, connecting back to your breath. 2, can you soften more around the base of your neck? and 3. Okay, inhale, take the left leg up, and then exhale to step it forward. Adjusting, make sure you're not on a tightrope. Let the hips sink down, back of the right thigh lifts, and then inhale to wobble your way up for crescent, and then sink a bit deeper into it. Shoulder blades down the back. Remember to soften the back knee as much as you need to keep your low back feeling comfortable. And then energize back through the right heel, ribs softening as well in your crescent, remember. Is that action as well, squeezing the outer hips in here too to find even more length up through the crown of the head. Come deeper. If you can, come deeper, and a little bit deeper. Okay, on our next inhale, we're straightening into the front leg, turning to the right, coming straight to that side bend in a horse pose. So the knees bend out over the toes, left elbow to the knee, and the right arm is reaching up and over. Make sure that the knees don't start to collapse forward. Keep lifting up out of the right hip. You can turn your gaze up there as well. Maybe you can come a bit deeper. Remember, in your horse pose, we want to energize into the outer edges of the feet, so we're not letting ourselves roll onto the insteps, which is what wants to happen, isn't it? Okay, so keeping the knees bent, staying low, we're going to maneuver the right elbow to the right knee, adjust the feet, and come straight into a side angle pose there, elbow to knee. Turn your chest, inner left thigh lifts, front knee opens out. Still maintaining that nice evenness with the breath. Okay, so we'll set up for the wrap with the reverse warrior. So left hand behind the back, tucking it around if you can, and then inhale, reach the right arm up and over to reverse your warrior. Keep opening the front knee out. Inner left thigh lifts as well. Boiling hot in here already. Inhaling to come to a warrior 2, and then sinking into it as you exhale. Big inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll bring the hands down. We'll step it back. You can go straight to a downward facing dog, or you can come through vinyasa. Up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back. And downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so calm your breath. 2, can you still find that expansion? 3, breathing in to the sides of the ribs, sides of the waist. 4, and 5. Okay, inhale, take the right leg up, and then exhale, step it forward. Adjust. Make sure you're not on a tightrope, and then inhale, wobble your way up for crescent, and then sink deeper into it. Shave that outer right hip back. Soften the back knee to tilt the pelvis forward, and then energize back through the left heel. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Fingertips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up. Come a little bit deeper if you can. Okay, inhaling to straighten into the front leg, turning to the left, and then coming horse pose with the side bend. Make sure that the knees track out over the toes. Think about lifting up out the left hip. Try not to collapse everything into this right hand side, so keep bending deeply into the left knee. Try and equalize the weight in the feet. Staying low, we're going to find side angle pose. So bringing the left elbow to the knee, adjusting the feet, and then the right arm comes up and over. Turn around so that I'm facing you all, because I always forget to do that. Any amount, can you turn your chest? Inner right thigh lifts, front knee opens out. Try not to lean all your weight into that left elbow as well. Can you keep the breath nice and even? Okay, from here we'll set up for the reverse warrior, so right hand behind the back, and then inhale, bring the left arm up and over. Front knee opens out, lift up out of that left hip. Keep lifting the inner right thigh as well. From here, inhale to release. I'm going to keep the bind, bring the left hand down, hop the back foot in, and then this time, maybe you find a half moon. Maybe you start to raise that right leg. If you need to release your right arm, do, but can you turn your chest? Think about engaging into that right leg as much as you can. Lift up out of the left hip as much as you can. Okay, so if you're still in the rack, we're going to release the arm, soften into the front knee. See if you can lift the lower hand and then find warrior 2 from there. Doof, crash land like I just did. And then inhale in warrior 2. As we exhale, we'll bring the hands down, step back, straight to a downward facing dog, or adding in vinyasa if you want to. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, and downward facing dog, take 3 breaths. 1, 1, so soften around the base of your neck. 2, draw the shoulder blades up your back. And 3, and then inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward, help it if you need to. Remember, make sure you're not on a tightrope, and then inhale to wobble your way up for crescent, and then sink into it. Shave the outer left hip back, soften the back knee to tilt the pelvis forward if that helps you to feel more comfortable in your crescent. The back knee can stay really, really soft. Okay, coming a little bit deeper into crescent, and then inhale, straightening into the front leg, turning to the right, setting up the feet for your horse pose, but then the left elbow comes to the knee and the right arm over. So it's like a side bend in our horse pose. We keep opening the knees out. Try to keep energizing into the outer edges of the feet to turn your chest. As tempting as it is, try not to lean into that left elbow. Okay, from here, staying low, we'll find side angle, back of the mat. So right elbow to knee, and then adjust the feet. Find your side angle pose, front of the mat actually, isn't it? I've just turned around, inner left thigh lifts, turn your chest. And then we'll set up for the reverse warrior. So left hand behind your back, tucking it, and then right arm up and over, reverse warrior. Okay, so we're going to come straight to half moon from here. Release the wrap if you need to. Adjust it if you need to. We're going to bring the right hand down, hop the back foot in, and then maybe the left leg lifts. Find your half moon. Can you turn the chest? The more that you engage the lifted leg, in theory, the easier it is. Working towards being a little bit lighter in those fingertips down on the mat. Okay, so we're going to, if you're still in the wrap, we'll release the left arm, soften into the front knee, and then wobble, wobble. Find your way back to warrior 2, well done. Sink into it when you're there. Inhale in warrior 2, and then as we exhale, bring the hands down, step it back, straight to downward facing dog, or through a vinyasa. Up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, you can always drop the knees and take a break in child's pose, remember. 2, can you think about the outer upper arms spinning back in your downward facing dog? 3, can you find more length from the outer wrists to the outer hips? 4, and 5, and then inhale to look forward, step, hop, float, or walk forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhaling to come up, press down through the feet. Keep the arms coming, out, around and up. Reach up and gaze up. And then exhale, hands down through heart center. Okay, hopefully we're all getting nice and warm. On the next inhale, we're going to find a chair pose. So make sure that you can see your toes, both knees do the same thing, all of that stuff that I always go on and on about. The more you can get that action, sit bones to the backs of the knees, the more you find that hamstring engagement. And then can you come a little bit deeper? And then lift the upper arms, come a little bit deeper. And again, a little bit deeper. Okay, inhaling chair. Exhale for a forward bend. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to step or jump back. So you can go straight to a downward facing dog as always, or you can come through a vinyasa. So leave them out if you want to, add them in if you want to. Inhale, up, dog, cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. So we're going to find a warrior 1 from here. Inhale, take the right leg up, and then exhale, step it forward. We'll turn the left foot out and root it down, and then inhale, find warrior 1, and then sink into it. Shave that outer right hip back, shoulder blades down the back, lower ribs soften in, heavy in the tailbone. So, and I say this a lot as well, don't I? Those of us who really struggle with warrior 1 because of our knees, please feel free to make it a crescent lunge or adjust it as much as you can. Also with the squaring of the hips and shoulders, if it hurts your back, don't get too caught up with that. Just find a place where you feel some intensity but there's no unpleasant sensation in your low back. Come a little bit deeper into your warrior 1 if you can, and a little bit deeper. Okay, inhale warrior 1. As we exhale, we'll come to warrior 2 to the left. So maybe adjusting the feet, coming a little bit wider. Make sure the front knee opens out, inner left thigh lifts. Shoulders down, shoulder blades press in to the upper back in warrior 2, remember. Okay, inhale warrior 2. As we exhale, we're going to pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, and then left hand comes down, right arm up for the twist. So we're kind of in a twisted crescent. And my favourite move at the moment from here, I think most of us know what's coming. have a little go. We're going to inhale, press into the right foot and wobble our way up to a revolved crescent. And I'm very wobbly tonight. So opening out the arms as much as you can, staying nice and deeply bent into that front knee, turn your chest, revolved crescent. Okay, inhaling in revolved crescent, and then we'll come back to the twist. So the left hand comes down and the right arm up. Okay, optional extra for those of us that want it from here, you might want to hop the back foot in, adjust the position of the left hand, and then you could come into a revolved half moon there, lifting the left leg, keeping the right arm lifted, lift up out of the right hip. Well done. Wobble, wobble. And then from there, we'll soften back into the front knee, come back to the twist, reach up through the right fingertips. Big inhale, and then as we exhale, bring the hands down. Make me in downward facing dog. Get there however you want to. So vinyasa or not, use the knees, of course. Inhale up, double cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. 1, so let your breath settle. 2, and then we'll find our warrior 1 on the other side. And 3, okay, inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale to step it forward, turn the right foot out, root it down, and then inhale for warrior 1. Sink deeper into the front knee if you can, shave the outer right hip back, back of the right thigh back, ribs in, maybe the palms come together, maybe you turn your gaze up. Can you come a bit deeper into your warrior 1? Try to feel the whole of your pose, the whole of your body in your pose. Is there anywhere that you are shrinking or not engaging? Can you find a little bit more length? Can you find some more engagement? Maybe. Okay, inhaling in warrior 1, exhale warrior 2 to the right. So adjusting, maybe you come a little bit wider. Make sure you're lining up heel to arch, shoulders down, shoulder blades press in. Think about lifting the chest as well, inner right thigh lift. In our warrior 2. And then inhale in warrior 2. As we exhale, we'll find the twist. So pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, right hand comes down, left arm comes up. So you can stay here if you want to. It's quite wobbly, isn't it, coming up? So stay down here if you want to, or press into the left foot and wobble your way up for the revolved crescent. Keep lifting the back of the right thigh. Front knee is bending deeply. Okay, inhaling there. As we exhale, we bring the right hand back down to the twist. Okay, staying there, or hopping the back foot in, adjusting, and coming to a revolved half moon, maybe. Lift up out of the left hip. Try and stay as active as you can in that right leg as well. Turn your chest. I can see that I'm cheating. Okay, and then from there, we'll soften into the front knee, come back to the twist. Right hand down, left arm up, inhale. And then as we exhale, bring the hands down, step it back, straight to downward facing dog, or vinyasa, up to you. Inhale for back bend up, double cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so straight away, calm your breath. 2, I would hasten to say that I think revolved half moon is possibly one of the most challenging balances, isn't it? 3, 4, so if it was messy, don't worry about it. And 5, inhale to look forward, step, hop, float, or walk forward. And then once you're there, forward bend. Inhale, come straight up into chair pose, Utkatasana. Sink the hips down, shoulder blades down the back, gaze up, inhale, and then exhale and release. Okay, I'm going to do that again. So again, skip the bits that you want to. You can always stay in the twist. You can modify it and adjust it as much as you need to. Okay, inhale, find chair. Make sure that you can see your toes. Check the details in your chair. Come deeper if you can. Shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, exhale for a forward bend. Inhaling for your halfway lift. Exhaling to find downward facing dog, getting there however you want to. Sometimes it's nice to skip the vinyasas, isn't it? Inhale, up, double cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog, and then inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Turn the left foot out, root it down, and then find warrior 1. Right hip back. Make it a crescent lunge if your knees really don't like warrior 1, remember. Shoulder blades down, ribs in. Maybe you can bring the palms together. And then you can wrap the triceps forward and get even straighter into the arms. Fingertips up to the ceiling. Come deeper, maybe. and deeper. Okay, inhaling in warrior one, exhale warrior two to the left. Adjust your feet, may become wider. I usually find I have to come wider from warrior one to warrior two. Keep pressing the shoulder blades into the upper back. Keep lifting that inner left thigh as well. Okay, inhaling in warrior two. As we exhale, we'll find the twist. So left hand down, pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, right arm up. When you're ready, make sure you feel secure with your feet. Press into the right foot and wobble your way up to revolve crescent, which I'm not doing very well on this side tonight. Okay, inhaling in revolve crescent, and then come back to the twist. Left hand down, right arm up. Stay there, or hop the back foot in. Adjust the position of your left hand, and then take the weight into the right leg. Lift the left leg, turn your chest. I was much better at this when I was practicing this little sequence. Okay, softening into the front knee, reaching back, finding the twist again. Right arm reaches up. Inhale, and then as you exhale, come into downward facing dog, however you want to get there. So straight there, resting child's pose or vinyasa. Inhale, up, dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog, take 3 breaths. 1, so soften around the base of your neck. 2, and 3. Okay, inhale the left leg up, and then exhale, step it forward, setting up for warrior one other side. So turn the right foot out, root it down, and then inhale, come up warrior one, sink into the front knee, shave the outer left hip back, heavy with the tailbone. Remember, shoulder blades down the back. There's that tendency to roll onto the instep of the back foot, isn't there? Try to energize into the outer edge of the foot, and then maybe the palms come together, maybe you wrap the triceps forward, straightening into the arms a little bit more. Inhale warrior one, exhale warrior two to the right, so adjusting, coming wider if you need to. Checking that you haven't started to lean forward as well. That's the other thing that we're fond of doing in warrior two, isn't it? When we're not thinking about it, come deeper. Okay, inhaling in warrior two. As you exhale, pivoting to the ball of the foot, back foot, right hand comes down, left arm comes up for the twist. And you can stay with this, of course, if you want to. Otherwise, on the next inhale, we press into the left foot, we wobble our way up for revolve crescent. Reach back through the left fingertips. Keep lifting the back of the right thigh as well, sinking into the front knee a bit more. Inhale. As we exhale, come back to the twist. Stay with the twist. Or hop the back foot in. Adjust the position of the right hand and then raise the right leg. Turning as much as you can into a revolved half moon. Okay, from there, softening into the front knee. Right foot comes back. Adjust the right hand again. Find your twist again. Wobble, wobble, inhale, and then as we exhale, bring the hands down, make your way to downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale back, downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so calm your breath. 2, can you find that expansive quality with the breath as well? 3, 4, and 5. Okay, from downward facing dog, just bring the weight forward and come into a plank pose. So shoulders are over the wrists. Knees can come down straight away if you need to. Otherwise, try and draw the kneecaps up the front of the thighs and think about sucking the ribs in and the navel in. Okay, taking an inhale in plank. And then as we exhale, we'll let the knees come down, we'll tuck the elbows, and we'll slowly lower. Come all the way down to your front. Okay, once you've come all the way down, untuck the toes. I'm going to set up for some salabasanas. So you do this to your level again. You can stay with cobra, watch how your low back feels. The more that we focus on making space in the low back, hopefully it helps with these back bends. Okay, hands start at shoulder height. Begin to press into the tops of the feet, lengthen the sit bones. Get that action. It's like you're trying to tuck the tailbone under and scoop it forward. You're trying to make your bum longer. The legs are active. And then minimal pressure in the hands to bring the head and chest up. Okay, and then I'm going to reach back with the arms and come into that variation. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades in, reach back through the fingertips. Okay, you can stay with that if you want to, or maybe you lift the legs as well. So it's completely up to you. Make it as intense or not as you want. Think about lengthening out through the crown of the head, reaching away through the toes. So in Salabhasana, we are more concerned about how long we're making ourselves as opposed to how high we can come up. So make yourself long, draw the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen out through the crown of the head. Try to keep that action. It's like you're trying to tuck the tailbone under and scoop it forward. Your bum is getting longer. Okay, inhale and then exhale, come down and have a rest. So let the shoulder heads roll forward, let the heels drop out and just completely rest there. Take a nice big inhale and a nice big exhale, and again nice big inhale and a nice big exhale. Okay, we'll make our way to a child's pose. So your version, hands below the shoulders, just press up and then find a child's pose. Remember to find it really slowly. So when we've done back bends, don't be in a rush to get to the counter pose. Just take your time, lengthen the outer hips back, the sides of the waist, the sides of the ribs, soften around the base of the neck, and then hopefully the forehead can rest down, if not on the floor, then on a block. And then just let your breast settle there, soften around the base of the neck, relax your shoulders. Make sure that your abdomen is relaxed as well in your child's pose. And you're just letting everything settle down a little bit. Okay, and then from our child's pose, just taking the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. Okay, and then lift the shoulder heads up, squeeze the shoulder blades in. Any amount, lengthen away with the arms. So you can keep the hands close to the low back if that helps you here. But keep thinking about rolling the shoulder heads back, shoulder blades squeeze in, and then maybe the arms lift a little bit more. But you're just paying attention to how it feels in your shoulders. You might move a little bit there with the torso. You may take the arms a little bit from side to side. But just pay attention and move in whatever way feels right. So we don't want to make any big jerky movements. You're just sort of exploring this a little bit with your shoulders. Okay, if it all still feeling good and you wanted to, you could inhale and come up onto the knees and come into a rabbit pose. But if you have issues with your neck or you're not sure, then don't do this. We want to think about squeezing the knees together so we engage the inner thighs. So we're not just dumping all of the weight into the head and then we're pressing the hands away and allowing the shoulders to open even more. Take another breath and then release, come down. And then we'll release the arms back forward. Relax the shoulders, soften around the base of the neck. And then taking the hands behind us again, interlace other little finger on top. And then again, you can keep the hands at the low back as you work on straightening into the arms. Remember to roll the shoulder heads forward, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and then maybe just lift the arms any amount. And same thing here, if you're worried about your neck or you have issues, then maybe skip this bit. But otherwise, we can inhale, come up onto the knees. We roll onto the crown of the head. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards each other so that you're engaging. You're not just dumping everything into the crown of the head. And then maybe the arms can press away a little bit more. Take another breath there and then release, come down and then reach the arms back forward. And again, relax your shoulders. Observe the sensation that you have in your shoulders now. Can you soften around the base of your neck? Okay, from here we're going to inhale and come back up to all fours. Bring the hands forward about a handprint, tuck the elbows and then slowly lower down onto our front. Okay, and then I'm going to do another shoulder stretch here that most of us are familiar with. Sometimes we do this one in yin, don't we? Sometimes I do it in hatha as well. So remember to pay attention to how your shoulders feel as we come into this. You can always stop and adjust. So if you start with the left arm straight out from the side with the palm down, if you have had shoulder injuries or you know that the left shoulder is a problem, you might want to adjust that to more like 45 degrees. And you might want to stop halfway and adjust it. So always bear that in mind. Right hand is by the right shoulder. And then you bend the right knee and then press into the right hand and slowly start to roll onto the outside of the left hip. And then you can stop. So if that starts to feel really intense in your left shoulder, you stop. You might adjust the position of the arm. You can stop at any point. You can rest the right knee onto the left thigh. You might find the right foot comes down behind you. You might find that it feels nice to reach the right arm up. You might take the right hand to the low back. You might even feel that you want to take hold of the right foot and then bring the toes down behind your bum. So your version of this, stop wherever you need to. And then just start to relax there. Make sure that you're not gripping into your shoulder where you feel the stretch. Relax. And remember, if you get any really unpleasant sensation, then ease off. So it's quite intense that. For some of us, that's really intense. So just find whatever feels appropriate for you. Okay, from there we'll slowly unwind, so releasing and then unwinding, coming back onto your front. And then if you just take both arms by your side, let the shoulder heads roll forward, let the heels drop out, and just observe the sensation that you have there. So notice what you feel and where you feel it. I say this all the time, but for me, when I first come out of that, it's more intense than when I'm actually in it. So just let the sensation settle. And that's the rebound, isn't it? Okay, and then the other side. So right arm out. Remember to adjust it if you need to. Left hand level with the left shoulder, bend the left knee, and then ease your way over to the right. And again, stop wherever you need to. Where do you feel you need to stop? The left hand might come to your low back. You might take the top of the foot. You might bring the toes down behind you. See if you can come back to that evenness with the breath as well. Release your jaw. Relax your throat. Okay, and then just taking one more breath there, we'll unwind. Remember to come out of it slowly, step by step. And then come to lying on your front again and just take the arms back. Let the shoulder heads roll forward. Let the sensation settle down. Observe what you feel. Those of us who are tight with the shoulders might find that really challenging. It does help though to open out the front of the chest. Okay, from here we are going to bring the hands below the shoulders, press up. Come to all fours, and then from all fours, we'll just take the shins to one side and find our bum. So once you've found your bum, bring the legs straight out in front of you. And then we'll take the flesh away from the sit bones so that you can sit up nice and tall. So we don't want the pelvis to sort of be rocking back and tucking under, do we? We want to be nice and upright. We want to be able to lift the chest. Okay, you can modify this if you need to. You can have your knees bent. You could take the feet a bit wider as well. If your back's sensitive, adjust it if you need to. Otherwise, from here, we're going to take the arms up above the head. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. And then inhale to really lift up through the fingertips. Now imagine that somebody's taken hold of your rib cage and is lifting you up so that you're really lifting up out of your pelvis. Cinch the outer waist in. Inhale, and then as you exhale, come forward. As soon as that feels too much, you're going to release the hands down. You can take the shins, maybe you take the feet, wherever. Just keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, and then inhale to lift the chest, lengthen it forward. And then as you exhale, coming forward any amount. And then inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lift and lengthen, and then exhaling to fold. And remember, when we're coming into these forward bends, we want to think about the abdomen first, then the ribs, and then the chest, and then you relax the head and neck. So that we're not just using our back to come as deeply as we can into it. And then relax there. Relax your shoulders. Let your low back soften. Release your jaw. Okay, and then on the next inhale, we'll lift the head. Exhale to release. We're going to take the hands behind us for a counter pose. If you have shoulder issues, again, just be a little bit careful with this one. It can be quite intense on the shoulders. So if you take the hands behind you, about 30 centimeters, with the hands directly behind your hips and the fingertips are pointing back towards you. And then just walk the feet in, and you can take the feet a little bit wider than hip width, outside edges of the feet are parallel, and then inhale, press into the feet and lift to your degree. So we're aiming to bring knees, hips, shoulders all in a straight line. But if that's not working at the moment, then as close to that as you can. You can keep the head up if you're worried about your neck, or you take the head back if it feels okay, but keep lifting. Again, another nice little, quite strong for the shoulders, keep lifting. Take an inhale there. As we exhale, we're going to slowly come down. And then once we're down, bring the chin to the chest, round into the upper back, and then inhale to come back up. Again, to your degree. Exhale to come down slowly, bring the chin to the chest, and then inhale to come back up. Exhale to come down, slowly, stay in control. Chin to the chest, and then inhale to come back up. And then this time we'll come all the way down, and then just bring yourself a little bit further forward, wrap the forearms around the shins, and bring the nose down between the knees. So you can relax the shoulders, you can start to let your back lengthen, and then maybe you walk the toes in and see if you can come into that little balance on the sit bones, cosmic egg. But that might be happening, it might not, so whatever. Keep the shoulders relaxed, just keep softening around the base of the neck, and then just letting your breath settle. Okay, from there, we'll let the feet come back down. We'll stretch the legs straight out in front of us. Get your heels right to the top of the mat. You can skip this bit as well, of course, if you want to. A little bit of core at the end, but if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Squeeze the calves together, squeeze the thighs together. Reach the arms forward, relax the shoulders, inhale, and then exhale to slowly come down. And I know that those of us that have been doing this a lot, it's getting easier, isn't it? She says, keep the shoulders relaxed. Just try to let your back come down sequentially here. And you're staying in control, and it shouldn't hurt your back. And then once you come all the way down, just bringing the knees in. You can give yourself a little squeeze there, a little bit of side to side movement. Might feel nice. And then how we're doing for time, not bad, okay. So from here, we'll release the left foot down, flex the right foot to take the right ankle above the left knee, and then just come into a thread the needle pose. And that's nice for the outer hips, and we've worked them quite hard tonight. So just a little bit of thread the needle. You can move a bit here. You could just explore this position if that feels appropriate. Stretching out your lower backs, stretching out the glutes, whatever feels nice. Okay, from there, release the left foot back down, come back to this figure of four original position, take the arms out to the side in a T, inhale, and then exhale, let everything, the legs come over to the left. So we're maintaining that shape with the legs, and then letting them come over to the left. And then maybe you turn your gaze over the right shoulder. So it's a sort of a twist, isn't it? But it's more focused into the hips. Maybe you feel that your outer glutes on your right side, maybe the IT band even, outer right thigh. And then inhaling to come back. We'll uncross. And then same thing the other side. So bending the left knee, placing the ankle over above the right knee, keeping the left foot flexed, and then finding your version of thread the needle. So you can take either behind the thigh or around the shin, and then just explore that. Sometimes just those tiny adjustments here make a big difference, don't they? You find tight areas and you can move into them. Okay, and then we'll find the twist. So release the right foot down, take the arms out to the side, inhale, and then exhale, everything comes over to the right, maintaining that shape with the legs. And then you can gaze over the left shoulder maybe. So it shouldn't feel too intense for your low back, this twist. It's more about the hips, isn't it? Maybe you feel it all the way down the outside of the left thigh as well. And then inhaling to come back up. Uncrossing, bring the knees in, give yourself a squeeze, bit of a back massage, whatever. And then finding Savasana, so coming to lie flat. If you're comfortable to lie flat, if you prefer to have something supporting beneath the knees, you can, or if you prefer to keep the knees bent, do that. But wherever you are, start to relax. Soften your abdomen. Relax your facial muscles. Release your jaw. And relax your throat. And just let go. Completely. Just for a few moments. And then slowly beginning to bring your awareness back. Gently moving fingers and toes. Taking a nice long full inhale, having a stretch, so arms up overhead, maybe interlace fingers, have a full body stretch. You could bend up the knees, draw them into your chest, give yourself a hug, take a twist, so anything, whatever move or stretch you feel that you need. And then just making your way to your right hand side when you're ready. But take your time, no rush. Now finding our way to seated when we're ready. So any seated position, remember, cross legs or not if that doesn't feel good. And then we'll bring our hands together. Just take a moment to relax your shoulders again. And just feeling the whole of your body from the inside out. Take a nice long full inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Namaste. Thank you, folks. Happy Monday. Hope that wasn't too much, wasn't too intense. A bit of everything tonight.
Thanks all.
Thanks.
I'll see you, a lot of you tomorrow. I'll see the rest of you very soon.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a lovely evening. Bye. Bye-bye.